time, weather.
Now for the Forge Podcast. Question for you. What's the power of your testimony if it's never shared? This is the Forge Podcast.
Steve, welcome to the Forge Podcast.
Thank you.
Nice
Glad
to
to
meet
be
you.
here.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, good. Yeah. It's good to see you. You said we were walking in talking. You said something about we launched the Forge Podcast on Tuesday, and you were at Forge, and something just said, "I want to do that," or what was that?
You know, since coming to SBC, I've had a lot of those moments.
What was the term you used walking down the? You said something's going off. There was a term you used. Not warning signs. A lot of.
There's a lot of trauma in my life.
You used a positive word. I can't remember what it was. Sorry.
I can't either.
All right. So since coming to SBC, there's been a lot of those moments. You said.
You know, throughout my life,
Yeah.
a lot of addiction, a lot of trauma, a lot of early abandonment issues, just childhood stuff growing up that I really never realized I had until through several addictive type of behaviors, and the latest one brought me to my knees and brought me to the doors of SBC. And it's been the most profound change in my life I've ever had. I was never really religious growing up, and it was something that I believe was really lacking in me. And especially with how I was raised and just my lifestyle, I was just wild. And so when I came to the doors, it was just like this giant weight taken off of me. I had a place to put the demons. And so through the fellowship, through Forge, through the prayer groups, through the church services, just everything has really touched my heart.
Yeah.
My heart had grown hard, through life and whatnot, but this is softening my heart.
Yeah.
And so it feels very good. I'm so fortunate to have found it.
So going back to the Forge, was there one of the snippets from the podcast that jumped out at you and you said that resonated, or was it just sharing your testimony in whole that whole idea got you?
It was the whole idea.
Okay.
And Mark, I saw Mark share.
Yeah.
And yes, I am a very open and engaging type of person. And it just immediately said, I need to do this. I have a story to tell. Many people have told me I need to write books.
Yeah.
On my life experiences and whatnot. Today, no way. I don't want to go back there. I'm moving forward in my life, in my journey with Christ. And in some ways I'm fortunate in that I've found Christ late in life. So there's no baggage. It's all good. It's all just, it's such a relief to me to have this in my life now. And I've just never had that.
How did you find Christ? What was
Here.
Well, walk me through that. Was that 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago?
No, Christ has come knocking on the door several times.
Okay.
And I just wasn't ready. And I've been saved a couple of times. I had a spiritual experience 33 years ago around my alcoholism. And I had been through a couple of treatment centers and whatnot, trying to make it happen, and it wasn't getting done.
Yeah.
And after being in a second treatment center and a halfway house, I come home to my wife, who's very upset with me, 3 little babies, pregnant dog, stack of bills, and I have no life tools. I have no idea how to live functionally. I'd been an addict all my life. I just didn't know. No tools. And I started praying in my pool, and I felt it that night. God came down and touched me and took that addiction away from me that night in the pool. And for 33 years, I've never had a desire to take another drink. Now, me being the addictive personality I am, I immediately replaced that with racing bicycles. And so I raced for 33 years all over the world, and as a high-level masters racer. And that was my identity, that I was good at it, and I ran teams and youth programs and whatnot, and that was my jam. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And then in 2021, I was involved in an accident over in California racing and broke my neck. And at that point, I knew I had the fear. And I knew at that point I wasn't ever going to be able to race again, because you can't race with fear. So that went away. And and it was a big part of my life, and I felt lost. And so then, fast forward to September, God threw another fire at me.
September of 2021?
2021. Okay. And I was diagnosed with lymphoma, and it was advanced, stage 4, and I was sick. But the interesting thing, going through that journey right then, I was at total peace the entire time. But I wasn't praying. I was just at peace. Whatever came, I was good with it. And then, of course, after I come out of that, and I'm like, all right, thanks God, appreciate that. I got it from here, you know. And off I went, and only for new addictions to pop up, and they were progressive, you know. And so this last go round was a real hit. And so it was that much, that more important that I found an avenue like SBC and a spiritual base. Just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And, you know, today I pray a lot. I'm learning how to pray. I'm learning how to be a good Christian, because I'm new at it. And so every day's a journey in the walk of Christ.
Oh, you're going to like the new series that they've got going on. I'm sure Steve's told you about it at Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of some of the simple questions that it's like, that's great. I'm excited for it. What is it? Curious Faith, I think is the title of it.
I didn't catch the first.
I did, because I wanted to make a T-shirt out of it. I liked their logo they created. I'm like, I should make a T-shirt out of it. Just didn't get around to it.
Yeah. You got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a little backstory. I was met my wife in treatment. Cardinal rule number 1, you don't do. She walked into a cafeteria, never seen her in my life. Walked in, there were 6 girls, 1 boy in the family. They marched in the cafeteria, and I looked over across the room and told my cronies at the table, I said, you see that blonde over there? They're like, oh, yeah. I said, I'm going to marry her. And never met her. And by God, I married her. And that was the other miracle. We had no clue what we were doing. And I don't think she knew what she was getting in with me. But I've always had a good heart. And I think she saw that, and so we kicked it off. Have 3 wonderful
I think
kids.
you can make that statement about any marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, no one person's worse than the other. When you bring 2 people together, and then you start unpacking the baggage and the injustices and the wounds and the defense, it's like, well, yep, I didn't know I was getting that with you, and you didn't know you were getting that with me. I mean, everybody can say that.
I agree.
That's what a healthy marriage should say, because at least you're doing the work to unpack it, and let's dive in. Let's have real growth in our marriage.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the blessing of today, through addiction and through my journey, is that today I'm developing the marriage I've always wanted, and I was just so shut down and closed off to be able to do that. So full of shame and guilt and anger and loneliness and just all the negative stuff, that I really was not able to be there for her, for our kids.
Yeah.
And, I had my gig going on over here with racing and all that. And that's what I used to run. I didn't have to face the day-to-day challenges. But today, we're able to develop a relationship and a marriage that we've both always wanted.
Sure.
And it's really an incredible feeling. Just that I'm able to show empathy and grace and humility and honesty and just all the things that
Serving.
I'd run from. I didn't know how to operate.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
So what have you? I'm sure you've talked to Steve about this a little bit, but have you heard of the Freedom, the Knowing Freedom book or any of that stuff? Talking about injustices, talking about shame, talking about all these strongholds that we've kind of, through our choices and sometimes the choices of others, injustices that have been done to us, how we then guard as our defense mechanism. We guard our heart and who we are, and we cover those, and we become prideful, or we live in that shame, and it becomes a new identity. We're now not living in the identity how God created us. That's become hidden. Yeah. And so we have to develop this new identity, and sometimes that masks as drinking, or that is, I'm the racer and I'm going to do everything. This is where I find validation. So have you had a chance to dive into some of those things?
Yes.
Or
yeah.
Because
I do a lot of 12-step work.
Yeah.
And then the church and whatnot. And what I've found is over life, I've been incomplete. I've been full of holes.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to fill those holes with whatever addiction was teed up at the time.
Right.
And today I don't have to do that. I don't have to live that way. The holes are filling with Christ.
Yeah.
And the fellowship here. That's the other big piece of this puzzle for me, because as time went on, I began to close in, and I'm a very outgoing guy. I like people, and I'd become a turtle, just closed off, and it was the shame and the guilt and whatnot. So through this process, I'm able to open up and able to embrace fellow men, men of faith, and what a difference. I find that the relationships I'm forging here are very genuine, whereas out there it seemed phony. Especially in my racing and all that, it's who's the macho dude, and I was a sprinter, so it was very aggressive. And today I don't have to live that way. I don't have to live aggressive. I can live in peace. And then this latest bout with cancer, it's just the outpouring of love and support and prayers is just, it's overwhelming, and that'll bring the tears. I never had that, and it's right here. So.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's very powerful for me.
Is it something you knew existed and just didn't want to dive into that? Nope. Or it's just you didn't know friendship could be that way? You didn't know people would go that deep and that real?
I always had friends, but not like this. This is a genuine, honest connection with a fellow man.
Right.
Before it was more women or something else. It wasn't a man-to-man connection, and that was, I really needed that. I didn't know that, but once it started happening, I was like, wow, something's going on here, and I'm tapping into that. And coming in here, I didn't know how to pray. I still don't. I'm learning how to pray, how to be a Christian. That's why I go to the boiler room and to learn these things, because I'm committed. This will be the walk of my life from this point forward, and so I'm a work in progress, if you will. So
Make that too, buddy. I mean, we are.
yeah,
And one of my favorite verses is, Jesus tells his disciples that, you're humble, you're an unworthy servant, simply doing our duty. And that means we are always serving at the behest of Jesus Christ. And there's always room for improvement. A servant is never above the master, and a servant is always working on themselves.
yeah,
And that's been that I'm trying to adopt that as a posture in walking forward, because if I can posture myself as an unworthy servant, simply serving Jesus Christ, simply serving the Lord, simply going after the things that matter to him as a servant. Because what is a servant? A servant, if I'm your servant, I am making sure that everything before you and behind you is perfect, right? I mean, you've been to some high-end restaurants and high-end hotels. The staff, they go out of their way to make sure you feel like you are on top of the world, right?
I agree.
Now, take that mentality. Do we do that in our walk with Jesus? Are we that kind of a servant? I know I sidetracked, but I apologize. But I think that's we are incomplete. We are a work in progress. We will be a work in progress till we take our last breath. But as long as we're working as an unworthy servant, just serving Jesus and doing his will and fishing for men and going after men and spreading the gospel, I mean, I don't think we can go wrong.
No. This latest, it's been about a year since this latest trauma test through addiction. And when this happened, right then, I don't know if it was a calling or what, but I said to myself, I am committed to healing and recovery. And from that point, I went to a different church. It was middle of the day, and I went and knocked on the door, and I needed to talk to somebody. I was hurting, and no one was there. And I thought, okay, well, and then I came over here, and the doors were open, man. And there was someone there to process with me and help me through the deal. And I will never forget that. They were there when I needed them.
Yep.
So, makes me emotional. So, just another wounded soul, man. I needed some help.
Yeah. So, how long have you been coming to SBC?
It's been about 5 months now.
5 months? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you come to the 9 o'clock? 11?
Yeah.
9 o'clock?
9.
Okay.
So do the 9 o'clock. We're also doing Re-Engage.
Okay.
Just growing in.
How's that going?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I bet with your posture right now, you're just bring it on.
Oh, I'm
right?
a sponge.
You got and then
yeah.
I bet you're fun at your table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're open, you're transparent, you're willing to be open,
I am.
and you're willing to say, "Yep, that's wrong in me. I know that's wrong. I know I got to do something about it."
Yep.
And you're willing. I can see that already.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and that's the position you hope for people in those classes that come ready to do some work.
Yeah.
Because God's going to meet you, and you're going to walk out of here a lot better, a lot more restored.
It was interesting. The first night I went to the Forge, I'm habitually early.
What time do you get here?
Well, I was probably here 4:30, but I went in and I just needed some time alone,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting at one of the tables, just picked a table. And as people started filing in, and I'm sitting there, and of course I figure out, okay, these are kind of, put together tables here. And, they were so gracious to me and share your story. Well, I just, and they're like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
you're at the right place.
Yeah.
And what I think they did is it kind of opened up the whole table, because I kind of took it to a different direction. And, but everybody rallied up and they all were experiencing a lot of the same things. So yeah, there's power in transparency.
It's contagious.
Yeah, it really is.
So the idea that we're not alone, and to hear that somebody else has the cojones to step out and say, "Hey, here's what I'm struggling with."
Yeah.
Somehow just gives everybody like, "Oh, okay, me too, right here." Like,
Yeah.
we're not alone, man. And there's no new sin under the book. I mean, it's like we all struggle with them.
It's so prevalent. The more I'm in the rooms and different rooms and whatever recovery, it's really scary how deep this addictions and just dysfunction, how deep it goes, and how hard it is for some people to realize there is an answer. There's another path out. And I'll never forget over the years, as some of my friends would dive deep into Christianity and into the Bible and whatnot, and I was that guy that says, yeah, they're either running from something or they're looking for something. And guess what? That's both of me. Both of those are me. And
that was your friend's assessment of Christians back in the day?
My assessment
of your friends that
of people of faith in later years that do a deep dive into religion. And just because I have a couple of friends that, they're passionate, really passionate.
But when let's step back. When you made that comment, you probably made it a few different times, right?
Yeah.
When you were making that comment in your head, or maybe you said it to one of your buddies, what were you thinking? I've got it. I don't need anything else because what I have is enough.
Yes.
Does that process, or you just, what were you thinking when you were making that comment?
And I think it came out of my ignorance and just not understanding it. Because again, I really did not have I had what I consider a spirituality, but I did not have a faith. I did not know Jesus. I didn't know how to process that. And just watching them and not understanding it.
Did it pique your interest?
No.
What? No.
At the time, it didn't.
Okay.
No. God had to smack me, right.
Did they seem to be? Did they seem to be? What did you say? They're either running from something or running to something.
Yeah, they're either running from something or looking for something.
And
in their life.
So I would imagine to you at that stage that seemed there's a weakness there in them.
Yes. Yeah.
And you, because I think in your, if for the minute I've known you, your identity, like you didn't need any of that. There was no weakness in you. You were a self-sustaining, right? You even said, God, thank you for getting me out of this mess, the hospital, or this,
Yeah.
the drinking in the pool. I've got it from here, right? And so that was kind of your MO. And you see your friends doing that. It's like, okay, I don't need that. There's a little weakness. They're running from something, running to something. I don't need that yet.
Very true.
Okay.
Yeah. And it became very
That's our pride.
apparent.
I mean, that's just us 100% just thinking, I got this.
Yeah. I totally was operating out of pride. And today, I mean, there's still a little bit of that, but it's getting a lot better. A lot better. Because I live in prayer now.
Pride is daily, man. Pride is for everybody.
Man. And, I live in prayer and meditation and readings and whatnot. I'm like you said, I'm a sponge right now. I need this so badly. And it's working, right? My heart is softened.
Yeah.
And I can be a different man, a different husband, a different dad to all my family. My relationship with my wife is totally different. I didn't know how to show grace or empathy or true love and connection and patience and all that. And today I can. Yeah. If she's hurting, I can sit there and shut my mouth and listen to her and be one with her in her pain and honor that. Not try to fix her.
Yeah.
I would never have been able to do that before.
How many kids do you have, and what are their ages?
3 kids, 35, 37, 39. They're all out of state. Stevie, my son's in Brazil. One's in South Carolina, and one is in Fort Worth.
Okay.
4 grandchildren. It's kind of a bummer. I don't get to see them very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, got a full pack. 3 dogs, 3 tortoises. Full deal, man.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's the invention of the airplane and its effect on families. I think about it often enough because my folks are in Maine.
Oh yeah.
And it's great that kids can just a job, you can get up and go. But man, sometimes I long for those days where, the whole village raised the family.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I never lived in that, but you hear stories of that. And I mean, that was up until the invention of the airplane, for the most part, that's how people existed. That's how cultures lived and existed. And there's something, I don't know, it'd be fun to have.
If it was up to my son, we'd all be moving to Brazil on his farm, growing coffee and riding mountain bikes, So, hey, maybe someday.
Yeah. How is your relationship with your kids?
Awesome. Always has been.
Always has.
Yeah. And I'm always completely honest and transparent with them. They've always known my shortcomings and that I'm fallible. And I speak to them every day now. And they speak to each other every day. Very close family.
Yeah, good.
Regardless of all the dysfunction that I had in my life, it did not, thankfully, wear off on them. And
good for you. I'm proud of you.
It's a blessing.
It is. I mean, that's. I just took a picture of my 3 daughters. They ran out. They were out in the yard, and they just sat down. They were all playing together. I took a picture. Like, no, don't post this. I'm like, this is not to post. This is just for a dad to enjoy his daughters like playing together and for in those moments. And so, to see you've come through that, and they're I mean, they're in their 30s and still great friends. That's awesome. That's
there's such a level of connection when this latest trauma in my life kicked off. They were the first people I called, and just, hey, this is what's going on with Dad, and I need your support, and 100%, they were there for me, and have been. So,
is that something you want to talk about, or
it's a little close to home?
Okay,
yeah, but it's God has lit so many fires in me. I've had stroke, 2 heart attacks, the broken neck, cancer, now cancer again. It's just on and on and on, and just one fire after another. And I really didn't stop and think about them until now, and realizing the power of faith through these. The last round of bout with cancer was a heavy one, and I was very much at peace. God, I didn't know I'd live or die. I mean, I was sick. This go round's pretty good. I feel good. Start chemo next week. So, but lots of prayers and again, I'm at peace with it. I mean, it's just part of life, part of the journey.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have Christ in my life now to turn to. So I may look a little different next week, but that's all right. Yeah.
How long have you been attending Forge, and what's it meant to you?
So tonight, I believe, is my 5th time. And again, it goes back to that fellowship. It's being connected with other men of like faith. And they're really guiding me, because I am so new to this. And I look to them for that guidance. Yeah. And so it's fellowship.
Yeah.
It means a lot. You gotta be able to connect with another dude,
Yeah.
And when you got a whole room
outside of sports, weather, and golf, and outside of that, because
they get real. They get real in there, and that's what I need. I need to be real, and So I will grow in the Forge. I was actually asking Heller, can I like move around from table to table? I want to go meet some other people and just get the vibe of the whole room. So I may do that tonight. I don't know. But it means a lot. It's I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Well, Mark Gnurk, he was sitting right where you were a couple weeks ago, coming from his social background, he said, I never thought getting saved and stepping into that life. So he's like, I never thought I could replace the value and the friendships that I had forged over the years of baseball and sports and this and that. And he's like, I'm really going to miss that. Like, because his perception of Christianity and Christians was not of the highest caliber. And he's like, I've never thought this was possible.
Yeah.
Like getting into the weeds and growing in a way that you could never do at the bar or on a golf course.
No.
When you have Jesus Christ and that transformation in common, that's real. You go to a level that you didn't think was possible.
I didn't realize the power in faith because I hadn't experienced that. But today, the faith is very strong, and being new at it, and it's just so refreshing to me. And again, it's a place to put all the garbage that I just can't deal with.
Yeah.
And so therefore I'd act out in various ways. Now I have a place to put that.
Yeah.
And it's been life-changing for me.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
So I'm curious, how would you answer this? You said you really wanted to come up, you wanted to be on this and share. Why? What did you want to share with people? Because this isn't just me. I mean, it's great that I get to meet you and know you, but what is it that you want to share and make public so people can? The idea of the podcast is to let people know they're not alone.
Yeah.
There are other guys out there doing it, and that hey, they're success stories that I've been here. And through Jesus Christ, I came out and have been restored. What is that you want to share with people?
You know, the biggest hurdle that I've dealt with all my life is addiction.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are suffering from addiction, and they're alone. They don't. I don't feel they feel worthy. And in other programs that I'm in, I find that they're almost scared of Jesus.
Yep.
You know, and so if I can impact one person, that's what I want to do. And if I went way deep into my backstory, it's pretty colorful, and I have a story. Many stories, but that's what I want to share. I want to share with people. I'm very vulnerable and open, and if I can help another man, that's what I want to do. And when I saw what you guys were doing with the pod, because I've never done this is all foreign to me, I knew, and in fact I texted or emailed you guys immediately that night at the Forge. And said, I want to do this. So when Steve called me and said, hey, we got an opening, I was like, plug me in. I'm there. So just to tell my story and try to help somebody.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
What would you say to them right now? I mean, if somebody's listening and they're dealing with, outside of knowing they're not alone, like what is step one to help? If they're hearing you from their car or their basement or their bedroom, or what are you telling them right now?
Surrender to faith.
What does that look like in the middle of it? I have this conversation a lot. It is hard to get somebody to surrender without a little heat, a little pressure, without losing stuff, without losing everything, without losing something. Ryan Goebel says God gets you from either the nudge or the ashes. A lot of have to let the house burn down.
And I'm that guy.
So my question is to you, what is your take on it? How do you get that person at home, you're saying to surrender. What is it that you can tell them right now that will say, okay, he didn't just say surrender like everybody else. How is that walked out? How do you see that? How can you, I don't know, say it different? How can you affect change in somebody's heart or make them see it from a different?
You know what? I think
does that make sense what I'm asking?
And unfortunately, I think it takes a fire in your life to snap you out of whatever's going on in your life and realize, hey, I need help. This is above me. I can't do this on my own. And hopefully they turn to Christ.
Right.
They turn this direction and they don't go back to the addictions and back to the drugs and the alcohol and all the stuff. I knew right away this is where I needed to go, because I've tried I've tried it all,
Right.
you know, and God smacked me right between the eyes. Says, look, it's game time.
Yeah.
You know, pick your poison, which way you want to go here. And I chose this direction and to seek help, work on my marriage, work on my life, work on who I am, be a better husband, dad, granddad, you know, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And thankfully there's something like this to turn to. And it was not a conscious decision. It was like, go now. You need help.
Yeah.
And they were there for me.
I think continuing to say the word surrender is we're just like God's marketing team, because right in marketing it's the repetitive nature of it. Like you hear the commercial, then you get a flyer in the mail. You're always hearing it. My girls are always like, Dad, why do you always tell us to brush your teeth? I'm like, because you never remember. And so if I do this for 18 years and I keep reminding you, hopefully when you're out on your own, you'll remember finally to brush your teeth on your own. Yeah. I think it's the same way with surrender, that when you get to the end or something that feels like the end bottom, that voice, your voice on here that says just surrender, that comes back and is like, you know what, I heard this guy one time said surrender, and it comes back, right? Holy Spirit can use that to say, you know, try surrendering.
Yeah.
I think that it's powerful. It's a seed planted.
It is. And the other gift through that surrender is the forgiveness I've received. I never felt like I could truly be forgiven for things that I've done. And today I have been forgiven. And makes me start crying again. It's just so powerful. And until you experience it, you don't know, you know. Even my kids, my son, he's got faith. My daughters, they don't go to church yet. They will be, I'm sure. But just good, solid citizens, good people. My prayer for them is that they find faith. For them, for the grandbabies, for everybody. It just it gives you so much more in life, you know. So.
Well, Steve, thanks for stopping by, man.
Absolutely.
Great to meet you.
Yeah. I'm blessed to have this opportunity to spread my message, and I hope it.
So you go into chemo when?
Monday. Yeah. So I keep my stomach, it's splenic, so spleen's enlarged, pushing on the gut, and I feel like I want to let some out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monday. I got faith. I'm good. I'm really at peace with it. It's like, bring it on. What do we got to do? So,
well, we'll be praying for you.
I appreciate it. Got a lot of prayers out there.
Good.
Yeah. So, but thank you.
Yep. And as I like to do with all my sign-offs for the podcast, Steve, we always say, see you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. Right. Yes, you will tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you for listening to the Forge Podcast.